Welcome to I Am Well podcast. I am your host, Gemma, a nutritionist and mindset coach passionate about all things health and wellness. I'm going to take you on a journey to discovering what health means for you and how to create a life you love living. I'm on a mission to uplift those who feel overwhelmed with what it means to be healthy, reminding you, my listeners, that nutrition is only one aspect of health, and empower you to live your best life on your terms. Let's get to it. Hello and welcome back to I Am Well podcast. If you listened to last episode, you would know I did a little spiel on kind of what's happening in my life at the moment. And we are in the midst of moving, trying to find our next house to relocate to. And yeah, so it's just like a full-on time. So I talked about like getting burnt out and how to get through that. And what was really good that helped me to get through that was talking to my husband on the day. He's so good with this, like, I don't want to talk him up and give him a big head, but he's really good at talking me through these like challenges that I'll have with the businesses. So if anyone's like an entrepreneur doing their own business, sometimes you can get burnt out, especially when it's all up to you. Like you're the only one that's running the show. So yeah, I actually have him on with us today again because he has been on, a 3-day holiday, I guess. And it's been nice to have you home with me.
It's been good to be without the kids for a bit.
Yeah, it's been good.
There's nothing against them. They're good kids, but sometimes you just need a break and you just need a bit of relationship time just to spend us two, which has been really nice, going out to breakfast and living the lavish life.
Yeah.
So we've liked that. But yeah, what you were saying with talking you down and stuff, I think.
Yeah. Well, last week I was saying it was just like, I just felt like everything, I always get to these moments where it's just like everything gets real hard and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Like it's getting too much. Like, what am I thinking? I'm so in over my head. And like every time I talk to you about that, you always have something really good to say that like, just keep me on track.
Yeah.
And I think that's like so important in a relationship, like having someone there that offers you that, because otherwise it can just be such a lonely road, especially if you have your own business.
Yeah. In saying that, it's not as if you're just trying to do one thing and you're going, oh, I'm so in over my head and I can't do this. When we're saying you get a bit overwhelmed, it's because you've got 10, 15 different things going on at once and you're going, oh, I'm trying to complete this, I'm trying to do this course, I'm trying to do this, and you're combining all this stuff that everyday people will be like, Jesus, like that's so much to get done. So it obviously can get overwhelming, but then you sort of lose sight of what you've accomplished in that time span, which is the main key is if you don't acknowledge what you've done and you just keep trying to do more things, you feel like you haven't gotten anything done and you feel like you're failing and you can't do it right. And it's like, acknowledge the small wins, I think that's
one thing that I really struggle with. Like, it's just like every time I finish something or I achieve something, or I guess it's a little win, I kind of go, okay, what's the next thing?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
what do I have to do next? Like, to keep the needle moving. And then that's how I get to burnout. And yeah, this week I'm really feeling it, but we have had the kids, they've been like a little bit off through the night. They've been up.
A little bit off was the understatement. We had a bit of...
Oh, it was insane. Like,
a couple of little stomach bugs for the kids, but you're going to get that.
Like, honestly, I'm just like, I think I'm still trying to like catch up on the lack of sleep, which I know is just like a common thing that every parent goes through.
But like obviously we've been parents for a little bit now. The past couple nights have been a lot. Not your everyday, they might have woken up once or twice, it's whatever. Yeah, we've had a couple traumatic times, but we got through it.
So, yeah, it's been nice having you home and getting to go to the gym together, getting to go out for breakfast together. and just not like one thing that we realized, like when you go out for breakfast and you don't have the kids, is you forget to like slow down to eat.
Oh, to barely process it. That's where you could go and spot who parents are. And you'd be like, oh, yeah.
They're
yeah,
fast food.
I don't think they chewed. Yeah, they got 2 kids.
Yeah, because that's I was just like, oh my gosh, we actually can just enjoy our time and enjoy the food that we're eating. We don't actually have to quickly rush and shove it down. But yeah, I guess like what we should talk about today is kind of what we have been going through the last few weeks. Like I know for me, it's been a lot to do with mindset. But I know there's like times for you as well that you've learnt how to like get through really challenging times or doing something that's like so out of your comfort zone. I guess you've had to do that through your own work a lot. But for me, like doing different things, like on last Friday night, I went to a networking session on my own, meeting new people. I didn't know where the location was, never met anyone there before. And it was so nerve-wracking, but I was like, I have to do it. I was like, I've got to do it, because it's always that saying, you know, if it feels uncomfortable, do it anyway. And then, so I was like, okay, so I did that, but I feel like each time I do something like that, then I grow that little bit more, and I'm like, okay, I'm better to do it the next time.
Yeah, well, with that, it would have been so easy just to pull out and be like, the weather's not good, or I'm not feeling 100%. I'm not going to go, and no one's going to know the difference. Mm-hmm. But you went, and straight off the bat, like I knew the way you are when you talk one-to-one. It's really, really inspiring for people. So I knew you going there, you'd be fine. So I knew it was going to be really positive, and that's why I just kept pushing you towards it. And then when you did, obviously you made some good connections, and I said, if you don't get anything out, like just try and take one thing out of the situation, how they prepare it or whatever it is, whether it's good or bad, just one thing, and then it's worth it. So,
but I was so close to pulling out. Like I was, that whole day I was convincing myself of everything to pull out, and I think the only thing is because I literally teach it on mindset, and I know what the brain's doing, and I know because it was out of my comfort zone, my brain was just wanting me to not do it because it's the safer option. But honestly, I was like going, oh, you know, I'm feeling a bit tired. I don't want to push myself. You know, like different stuff. Like, am I feeling a bit sick? I'm probably feeling sick.
Yeah, one thing I've sort of noticed as we've gone more into our health and our mindset with all this is acknowledging the moments when your mind is trying to convince you not to step out of your comfort zone, or when your mind's making you feel anxious over nothing that's even an issue.
Yeah.
And when you can acknowledge that, which I've picked up sometimes now, I'll be like, oh God, like I'm feeling really anxious. I'm going to stuff this up. Mm-hmm. Nothing's caused it. Nothing's come from it. But sometimes you just feel that way. And if you can acknowledge it, I'll check myself up, and I'll be like, okay, well, I might just sit here for like a minute, 2 minutes, and just focus on my breathing.
Yeah.
And every single time I'm like, why don't I do that more? Why don't I focus on my breathing more and really recalibrate myself into that steady mindset, and then go for the issue if there is one. Usually there's not, and you just created this whole scenario of everyone hates me, and this is all horrible, and my job's going to go wrong, and this is going to stuff up. Nothing ever happens. Yeah,
that's that exact same moment I had last week. We literally have just joined up with a gym, and I was really excited to go, and I signed us up, and it all felt good. But then after I'd signed us up, like literally the next day, I was like, I don't think this is a good idea. What have I done? And I remember messaging you going, what have I done? I don't think we should do this. And you were like, what do you mean? It's fine. But it was because I had to go on my own. Like we both had to go separate times, obviously, with kids and stuff. And I didn't know what the gym looked like. I hadn't been to a gym in so long, like before the kids, you know, like a big proper
like
gym
a big
with a
gym.
membership.
Yeah, we've been to like little ones, or done stuff at home, and you're in your comfort zone, really.
Yeah. Like I've been to a little tiny gym that's like maybe a part of an estate where there's like 2 other people that go there, you know, it's tiny. But I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to expect. I'm not like a big gym junkie, so I don't know how to use all the machines. So I started creating all of these scenarios in my head, and when I got there, it was fine. I went on the like the stepping machine because I was like, I know how to use that. And then I went on, no, I think that's all I did. I think I did the stepping machine because I knew how to use that. And then I was like, okay, I'm going. And then I got in the car and I called you straight away. And I was like, okay, I did it. But I only went on that machine because it was the only one I knew when I got really anxious. And I probably looked so funny. And I felt like everyone was staring at me. And you were like, Gemma, calm down. No one was staring at you. And if they were, it's just because, you know, when someone walks through the door, it's just a general, like you just look. But then I created every scenario in my head that people were staring at me, judging how I'm using the machine, how I look, like how much of a rookie I looked, when there were so many different people there and I wasn't judging them. I was just worried so much about myself. And
yeah, it's the gym's like a really good one to sort of wrap your head around because you got people all different shapes and sizes and everything like that. And the funny thing is that I find with the gym is the people that aren't the fittest make you feel more comfortable going.
yeah,
So if you went to a gym and everyone's just ripped and jacked, like super fit, you're going to be like, oh my God, I feel stupid. And then you'll see some people that you go to a gym and they're not the fittest, but you can see they're working on it. It makes you feel more comfortable.
yeah,
But then the funny thing is if you put yourself in their headspace, they're feeling so uncomfortable because they're the one out or something like that. And those fit guys looking at you, or the girls, the fit ones, and they're just glancing your way. It could be the fashion that you've chosen to wear, or the way you've done your hair, or a clip in your hair that they like.
Could be anything.
Anything at all.
Or just like, even I think if someone walks through the door, I instantly look, but I don't mean to, and then I just look away and I don't even remember anything about them. So it could have just been, you know, a simple just glance, but it's not like, that's not the point. It's just the point of like, I can't believe I was just creating all of these scenarios. Like you were like, okay, what if you do go on a machine and you muck up? Like what if I was so worried someone was going to come up to me? Because I think I was scarred back in the day. I did a gym session and then someone came up and tried to help me out. And I was just embarrassed. I didn't want them to help me.
Yeah.
So I just felt like, oh, what if someone's going to come up and help me? And you said, what if someone does do that? Like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, true. But it was just like, I guess that's what your brain does because it wasn't my comfort zone. It's not what I'm used to. I only ever did workouts from home. So
these barriers.
Yeah. So my brain's just going, I'm going to give you everything to make you feel scared so that you don't go.
Yeah. And that's with everything in life though. Is if someone comes up and they say, oh, like, this isn't working 100% correct for you, I can see that. Why don't you try this? Instead of being like, oh, no, it's fine, and pushing them away. Think about if you just took in all the information that everyone's just trying to give you and be like, oh, okay, like if I try this, that's going to benefit me in this area. Oh, yeah, sure. And then straight off the bat, you're just going to better yourself taking in all information from other people. Mm-hmm. And taking into work or sporting or gym or anything, any scenario, when someone's trying to help you and be like, oh, try this, there's no loss in it.
Yeah.
It's about just...
It's about your perception.
Yeah, 100%. But it's not... You're not wrong if you go, oh, I don't want to talk to anyone. And that's fine if you do just want to be on your own. And like, I do get that because people do have anxiety with just talking to strangers.
Yeah.
And that's obviously their own scenario where they need to work on that, or whether they don't, it's up to them. But I think the more you can take in,
yeah,
it'll make everything a lot easier.
Yeah, what's like helped is just understanding how the brain works, because then I understand why my brain's telling me that stuff, like why it's saying all of these scenarios or creating these scenarios. So the more I understand that, the more I'm just like, it's not you, Gemma. It's fine. You're going to be fine. This is just your brain out of its comfort zone, so it doesn't want you to do it. And then that's really like helped. But yeah, I'm glad we joined, and I'm glad we've gone now, and even that we got to go together, because now I feel even more comfortable to go on my own. I mean, I went on my own last week, but yeah, it's definitely we've done so much these last few years that has been outside of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
That anyone on the outside would be like, oh, they must be so confident. They must be like killing it. They must be so good. But like, I'm still building my confidence every day. And I think even the celebrities out there, people who have, done movies or are on the red carpets and they look so confident, like everyone, it is human nature to have some insecurity. So everyone would feel like they're still, insecure or not feeling confident that day. It's just your perception of things. If you look at Instagram and you're seeing these influencers that talk so well or they look so good, and it's just...
Yeah. Instagram's my big thing. Where it's like, Instagram's a massive area where you're only going to see what people want you to see.
Yeah, I know.
You never see the hard times or what it even takes to get somewhere. You just see the end product and people go, oh my God, like, why can't I have that? And it's go, oh, I'm failing because I don't have that, or I'm failing because I'm not as happy as that person.
It's a big thing of just comparison. It's like a big app of comparison.
And it's horrible. And I can't stand it because it never helps. And it never helps, well, me personally, it never helps me feel better.
Yeah.
Going on Instagram and flicking through, and you do find you're just flicking through, and it's never a positive outcome in the end.
No. Like, I mean, Instagram's been good to help me grow a business and help for like small businesses in that sense. But if you speak to the majority of people why they go on Instagram, like what are they actually scrolling and looking at? They'll be scrolling at the friends that they follow, seeing what they're up to. And yeah, as you said, everyone's only ever going to post the highlights of their life. They're not going to post how they just struggled to pay the last bill or how they're like drowning in credit card debt or like to get their new car or something. Like they're not going to post that stuff.
No.
So you're just going to see the new car, the fancy holidays or something like that and think, wow, they must have it all together. And you have no idea. You just haven't, because obviously no one's going to post their struggles. Everyone wants to look like they're doing well. Everyone wants to feel that success, like, of course. But that's where Instagram can become really unhealthy.
It can. And
it's just about...
it's moderation. Everything in moderation, I think, is a big...
And retraining your brain. Like, I so wholeheartedly believe, like, okay, if anything does trigger you, lean into that and understand why. Like, why are you like when I still get, feel jealousy at times, and then I'll be like, but why? Like, why did I feel like, just question everything, because then the more you understand that, the more you get to know yourself and what your brain's thinking and then what you really want. Because I also, like, you can have anything that you want in life. You can do whatever you want. There's nothing holding you back except yourself. So if you are jealous of something that someone else has, what is it inside of you that wants that, and how can you get there? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's bang on.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess we could talk about what we have planned for next week.
Yeah. So next week, I think we've been talking about it for a while. Obviously with our fasting, and it's progressing, and we're trying different things like the 48-hour fast and everything like that. Next week, I've been pushing just to try a 3-day water fast.
Yeah.
Not for a set purpose, but obviously to push my body and see how it reacts, see the change that I get, how I feel energy-wise, if it's good, if it's bad, the positives and negatives of it, which I'm sure there's going to be things where at times I'm feeling really crappy, but I'll take that.
But we've done a few months now of fasting.
Yeah.
You've done 48 hours. My goal next week, my goal is to get to 48 hours. And yeah, you want to try a 3-day water fast for the first time, which, like, obviously I'm all for. Like, I love fasting, and I've just heard so many amazing, cool benefits about a 3-day water fast, like how your body's producing those stem cells. And even because you've had that knee injury and you had the knee surgery, and I know your knee feels tight at times.
Yeah.
So when we get to doing the 3-day water fast, you'll feel like stem cells around your knee that'll help heal it, help heal your joints and stuff. So it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
And obviously we're just going to see how you go. We're going to do it properly, the right way, test your levels, your glucose and
not just
ketones.
Yeah, all
But
in
you've
and just
prepped
be-
for this though too. Like we've both been. It's not like this is your first fast, and we're like going okay.
Yeah.
So it'll be good.
Yeah, it's not just jumping in and being like, oh, I'm just going to have water.
Yes.
That's it. I
No.
can not check levels. No, like there's actually some
You do need to
backstory,
have
yeah.
minerals as well through this because your body will be depleting that a lot while you're in a fast. But yeah, my goal is to get to 48 hours. I only got to 36 last time. I've really been working on my glucose levels, so trying to regulate them because the only thing is when I do a longer fast, my glucose tends to drop quite rapidly. It should drop, it should go lower, but mine was like dropping quite rapidly where I was becoming really lethargic. And I guess that scared me in a way, but I'm going to see how I go this time because I've been working really hard at then cleaning because when that's a good sign that I still need to clean up like my food system. So cleaning up what I'm eating, cleaning up my the toxins in my foods and stuff. And already I've already noticed a difference from because I have endometriosis, the last few periods I've had, they've both been, I think I've said it on here before, but they've both been so much less painful. Like you've even noticed, you're like, oh my God, Gemma, like, you didn't even have pain that last time. And I was like, I know. So the common denominator there, like I've literally just changed up the way I've eaten, but I haven't been like restrictive in like no dairy or no gluten or something like that, which I've always done in the past. This time I've really just focused on whole foods and then if I buy anything with packets, just reading the ingredients and making sure that there's no bad oils or chemicals in there. And it's really made a big difference, especially with the fast as well. I've done a lot of 24-hour fasts and that's good for gut healing. And that's what I'm working on, healing the gut. But now I want to get to a 48-hour. I want to help reset my dopamine levels, which will be really good. And you did a 48-hour and you loved it. So I'm really excited to see the benefits of that, feel them for myself. So that'll be my goal. And your goal's 3-day water fast.
Yeah, well, with the 48-hour one, I loved how I felt after it. I loved how, like, this is going to be weird, but I loved how different I felt in my gut and in my mindset especially too.
Yeah.
Where my mindset with food was just, like, completely different. And I was like, didn't have that urge to eat that junk food or that picking eating. And I love that. And even since then, I reckon it did change a lot where it's like, I'm not just eating for the sake of eating. I'm eating because finally I go, I'm actually hungry. I might eat and not so much.
That's what so many people notice. Like even the ladies in my program at the moment, they've both agreed that since doing the fasting, that's one thing that they've noticed, that it's like one of my clients was saying after she did her first 24-hour fast that like after she ate, but she was full straight away. And then she wasn't really picking or later. She wasn't snacking. She felt okay. Like she felt like, okay, I'm satisfied. Whereas sometimes we like feel satisfied, but we still snack. And it's because we're trying to improve those dopamine levels. Like we're trying to get the dopamine hit. So it's interesting that like, it changes your outlook on food. And it's literally like exactly what the weight loss drugs do out there, except you're doing it naturally. You're doing it holistically.
Well, when I started all the fasting, my goal wasn't to restrict the amount I was eating. It really, it wasn't. It was plain and simple. I was just doing it to see the effects and everything like that. But I have found big time that I'm not going back to the second and third plate that I would sometimes do. I'd be like, I've just eaten and I'll quickly go up and eat again. I'll get one bowl and then I'm like, okay, like, yeah, I'm good. And in my head, I'm like, no, I really don't want any more. Like, it was delicious or whatever it was, but yeah. Or I'm not feeling obliged to finish everything on my plate.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what those weight loss drugs do out there. But not enough people know about how fasting can create those effects. Like, no one knows that. And I know your goal isn't to, like, lose weight, but it was just... it's just interesting how it has the same effect as the weight loss drugs. But yeah, we just don't talk about that option enough. So yeah. But that's pretty much it. At the moment, we just have a lot going on in our lives. We're about to move houses.
Mm-hmm.
So busy, busy, busy. I can't believe we're coming up to the end of the year soon.
Jesus,
It's
I
just
know.
like crazy.
You showed me the calendar and I was like blown away. I can't fathom it.
It's going so fast. I can't believe we're coming to the end of our first group program, Balance. Like coming to the end of that. We're about to be on the lookout because I'm about to announce the 6-week program that my good friend Gabby and I will be doing in end of October.
Which is insane how you and Gabby work together. Just seeing from like an outside, the connection that you two have is really cool. Like it is really cool, and I think anyone that really jumps on board with you guys,
yeah, it's going to be good. I'm so excited.
Yeah, you can't lose. You're getting for whatever you pay, you're getting double the amount back in return.
I know.
Without a doubt.
Well, literally at our last wellness retreat, everyone was like, oh my gosh, you guys did not charge enough. We always end up over delivering, but that's just the kind of people that Gabby and I are too. Like we literally are doing this because we've had our own experiences in our lives. Like Gabby has gone through a lot of trauma growing up, and she's teaching the tools that she used to help her get through that. And like if you heard her story on our podcast, like you would know how much she's been through. So the fact that she's in such good health and spirit right now is incredible, and she'll teach you all those tools. I'm coming from the background of nutrition, but you know, like if you've heard my story before, how I've had so many gut health issues. I've also had my own sort of trauma. I've had body dysmorphia, which still will come up every now and then at this day and age. But I have got my tools that I use, and how much I love fasting and fasting for women. And yeah, we're literally creating a small 6-week program where you will get little bits of information on all of this. There's 5 modules, and the 6th week is our integration week where we do we're going to combine all the knowledge together and we go through it all together. We'll have a group chat where we're all going to be constantly talking together, working our way through this, and then heaps of other tools, meditations, PDFs, like so much that, yeah, as Shane said, you're just going to get so much out of this. So I can't wait to announce more of that. I know I've been kind of giving you guys a little bit information here and there, but in the next, I think about 2 to 3 weeks, I will officially announce it. I should say we will officially announce it, and yeah, you'll get more information on that. So I'm really excited because this is going to be a really good next step and a really good holistic program that's just going to combine it all. Whereas like when I do Balance and stuff, that's more just nutrition and a little bit of mindset in there. So yeah, anyway, thank you for coming on again.
That's all right.
It's good to have a little chat, little life update. This was just a little episode on, updating you on our lives and what our goal is for next week. I'll let you all know how we go, where, whether we end up doing the 3-day and the 48-hour water fast or not, we will see. But as I always say, like no fast is like a bad fast. So it doesn't even matter even if we got to like 20 hours or something. They're all good fasts. They're all doing something for the body. Anyway, I will leave it there and I'll talk to you all in the next episode. All right, bye guys.